Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for part 2 of the Monday Q&A. So first question. When correcting for fat mass, females have roughly equal power outputs per kilo of lean mass to men. This means that pound for pound, muscle of men and women is equal in terms of possible power output. Why are women so weak in the weight room? Even when considering the higher average fat percentage, they are often still very weak. Is it just leverages, or are they more lazy? Well, the reality is their numbers are comparable if they train hard, but you have to remember that there is a much bigger social stigma against women actually training hard and for strength and lifting heavy weights in the weight room. So therefore you see such a tiny percentage of women actually doing it, and therefore actually producing good numbers on their lifts, that it does make it look skewed, because you do see a lot of women who go in, and a lot of the women who do squat, the ones who regularly squat, they get up to about 90, 95 pounds, who take their fitness fairly seriously, but they don't ever go any heavier than that, and you'll see them using that same weight for 3 years. And it's a stigma against lifting really heavy and pushing themselves because of the fear of bulking up. So that's predominantly to blame, is a social stigma against it. Women will be just fine, and you are right, they're pretty dang close pound for pound once body fat is taken into account. You're looking at purely lean mass on them. But that is assuming that they are training correctly and actually trying to lift heavy and get stronger. All right, next question. Were you on TRT/cruising while bedridden? Or how long have you been blasting and cruising for? Bit of a personal question. I didn't get my script for TRT, I think, until around somewhere between 4 and 6 months after I started lifting again. It might have been 4 months. It's really hard for me to remember, but I did try to train for a while with my cortisol levels really high, way outside the normal range, and my test levels being pushed down by it, and it was very, very difficult, and my progress was painfully slow. And as soon as I went back on the TRT, I was gaining muscle faster than I did with my noob gains, and strength as well. And as far as the blasting and cruising, I would say I started that roughly the time that the Ice Cream Fitness channel started, about 1.5 years ago. And I do get the laugh when people say, well, why aren't you bigger than you look on camera? And I always laugh because then when I meet people in person, people are kind of shocked at how big I really am. I look tiny as fuck in these videos compared to how I look in person. I really do have 18-inch arms, and I really do have a 52-inch chest and 30-inch thighs. But when I'm sitting here, you can't really tell. But again, when a lot of you meet me in person and things at expos, you'll notice there's a difference. All right, next question. Does Mike Chang's magic red drink work? Please enlighten me on current research and empirical evidence. I'm considering dropping a few thousand on some bottles. You know, this is something I get asked about a lot, and I tried to dig into some research, and I had trouble kind of finding the research. And then when I contacted one of the big universities in China that's doing it, they told me that since I couldn't prove that I was of Chinese descent, that they couldn't actually give me the secrets to the research. So it really is an ancient Chinese secret, and I don't have access to it. Sorry, guys. The only source of this information is going to be, you have to get it directly from Mike Chang, or you're going to have to actually go to China and prove that you're Chinese to get this information. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time in part 3.